The Chicago Bulls have officially announced the signings of AC Law and Stephen Mervis to the front office. And now that that is complete, the head coaching search is about to heat up. And according to Jake L. Fisher, we have a list of names that we have to talk about on today's episode. And to end today's episode, we're going to talk about Jalen Duren. Should the Chicago Bulls pursue him in the free agency market? Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shot Boys podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm bringing you the latest surrounding our Chicago Bulls. Before we get into the content, though, do us a simple favor. Hit that like button and help us get closer to our goal of having 10K subscribers. So subscribe to the channel as well, man. And make sure you always see red. It's definitely... we feeling a little better around here these last few days, simply because the anticipation of the draft, all the moves being made to the front office, the head coaching search that is about to kick off, and man, it feels good to talk about something different. I'm telling you that right now. But let's get into it, man. According to Jake L. Fisher, he released a Substack that he does with Mark Stein, and he listed a couple candidates that is on the Chicago Bulls radar for the head coaching job. Those names include Wes Unseld Jr., Micah Nori from the Minnesota Timberwolves. We talked about him in the past. And we also have a name, Tiago Splitter, on the list. And y'all know how I feel about Tiago. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm really, really in tune with him and very feel really good on the things that he did in Portland this season. So I look at that and say, hey, I'm happy y'all got him on the list, because I had him on my list. And now two guys that we have not talked about has entered the chat. They say too. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't mad at it. These two names that we have to look out for is first, James Borrego, who just missed out on an opportunity to be the Pelicans head coach, and Dave Bliss, the assistant for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Really, really interesting stuff. I'm surprised that we did not hear names like Sean Sweeney from the San Antonio Spurs. Hey, man, I know this is a Chicago Bulls channel, but briefly, I just got to say and bring it up. The game last night with the San Antonio Spurs versus the Oklahoma City Thunder was complete cinema. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how talented both teams are and how crazy Victor Wembanyama is when he see Chet Holmgren. It's just like he forget everything. I love that. I love that smoke. But let's jump back on topic. I just had to take a brief detour and bring that excitement as a basketball fan. Y'all know I love my Bulls, but as a basketball fan, we got to keep it a buck. That was just exciting. But again, now let's talk about James Borrego. Is he a legit option for the Chicago Bulls? Now, let's all remember, he was a former head coach for the Charlotte Hornets, and he is familiar with Bryson Graham. James Borrego, he started out his career with the New Orleans Hornets back in 2010. They weren't even the Pelicans at this time, but he was an assistant back in 2010, and then he spent time with the Orlando Magic and became the interim coach over there, the way he coached 30 games and he went 10 for 10. He won 10 games and lost 20 during that span. He spent time with the San Antonio Spurs as well. Really good organization before he became the head coach for the Charlotte Hornets, where he coached for 4 seasons. And for that, he did not have a great record over there with the Charlotte Hornets. But the last few years, he spent this time with the New Orleans Pelicans before they ultimately decided to move off of Willie Green. And in the 70 games that he was the interim coach, he had a 24-46 record. not so good, but you understand the circumstances for what it really was at that current time with the Pelicans. You understand that. So keeping all that in mind, I say, hey, this is an interesting thing to talk about. Now, the name Dave Bliss is a name that is very, very interesting to say the least, because this is a guy that has been with Oklahoma City Thunder for some time, but got his start in player development with the New York Knicks back in 2015. Spent 3 years with the New York Knicks and ultimately left in 2018 to become an assistant with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2019. So yes, if you have your years calculated correctly, he spent time with Billy Donovan before ultimately Billy Donovan left the organization and Mark Daigneault took over. So he is a champion now. And when you consider that, and considering some of the relationship I assume that he had with AC Law, it's not a bad thing to understand why he's a candidate on this list. You have AC Law from Oklahoma City Thunder having familiarity with Dave Bliss. You have James Borrego, who spent time with Bryson Graham, who's now running a show. So there are some relationships here. These guys, know they have some candidates that they know about, but they also have some candidates that maybe not know too much about, but look at them and say, hey, these guys have been great in their roles in their respective spots, like Micah Nori and Tiago Splitter. Why not give them a shot? And then I think when it comes to Wes Unseld Jr., I just think that they're, showing a little love because he was around Billy Donovan's staff. You know what I'm saying? He's not at the top of my list if I'm keeping it a buck. I will have, if we're ranking these 5 candidates, I will have Tiago Splitter at the top, Dave Bliss, Micah Nori, James Borrego, and Wes Unseld at the bottom, simply because, and there's no shot to Wes Unseld Jr., it's just that I want a clean house. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to take a shower and put on the same clothes that you just took off when it comes to Wes Unseld Jr. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to go buy a new car and put the old engine from the car that I'm trading in into the new car. I just don't want to do that. I hope that makes sense. But I think that it was kind of, we're going to be seeing like more names pop up, possibly. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to be interested to see how or if the Chicago Bulls will be interested in a guy like Sean Sweeney from the San Antonio Spurs after. Let me not get too excited, bro, because this is a Bulls show. But a guy like Sean Sweeney coming from over there from an organization like that will be interesting to say the least. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also interested to see if Rondo receives a call. You know what I'm saying? I would love to pick the brain of a Rajon Rondo. That's just me. But obviously, they're going to have their own way of doing things. And I think that regardless of who is out there and who's going to be willing to accept an offer, I think this is a job that any one of these coaches should be excited to take. Me personally, you look at Josh Giddey, Montes Buzelis, you look at guys that really started to take step forward and need more development, like Leonard Miller, Rob Dillingham. You look at the asset pool that you have available to you for now and the foreseeable future. You look at the cap space that the Chicago Bulls have in place, and just now completely restructuring the front office make this an attractive job. I know y'all seen that damn list that dropped out with players voted and said on places that they don't want to go. Chicago wasn't on the list. Shocked me, guys. Shocked me. Shocked me. I was like, hold on, what? That's how attractive this job is, in my personal opinion, man. You have so many things that are different. Obviously, these guys have to put it on wax, as I always say. Obviously, they have to go out there and do their damn jobs. But the structuring at the top with Bryson Graham running the show, AC Law now going to be in charge of the draft and scouting, and then Mervis coming over to strategize and work on the cap space and focus on that. That looks like a really good group of guys that you want to, you know what I'm saying, have as your bosses in supporting you. One of the biggest things that we always talked about is AK wasn't properly supporting Billy Donovan with some of the decisions he was making, bro. So hopefully these guys can come in, find the right guy, and fully support them with smart decisions. We need guys that know how to do the right thing. These guys are coming from good organizations, putting in good work and they're leaving these situations that we seen once was at the bottom and ascended upward. That's where we are. We're at the bottom and hoping that an AC Law can bring some of the things he learned behind Sam Presti over to Chicago. Seeing what Bryson Graham was able to do with the Atlanta Hawks and how now that he's gone, look at the Atlanta Hawks and looking at Mervis coming from Orlando, look at the Orlando Magic. Regardless, they're all better than us. So those guys knew what it was like to get it out the mud. And hopefully they can do some of those same things that was done over there and bring some of that knowledge and come in the room, put their heads together and get it right in Chicago, because we are so deserving of a winner in Chicago after the BS that we've dealt with for the last 5 seasons. I know y'all tired of it, because I am too. But just to wrap up, the reported list, according to Jake L. Fisher, of the candidates early on, is Wes Unseld Jr., Micah Nori, Dave Bliss, James Borrego, and Tiago Splitter. My 2 favorites, Tiago Splitter and Dave Bliss. Down in the comment box, you let me know how you feeling about the list and who you believe will pop up on the list or get added to the list as we continue to move this thing forward. Now, before we get up out of here, I want to talk about Jalen Duren. Should the Chicago Bulls pursue this young fella? This man is slated to make buku money. That's for my old heads back there. This man is slated to make buku money. It's just crazy. Just for context and reference, if he receives the All-NBA selection, which I anticipate that he will receive, he will be eligible. I can't even talk. It's so much money. He will be eligible for 5 years, $287 million. God. If he does not receive the All-NBA selection, he will be eligible for a deal worth 5 years, $239 million. Now, here's where the tricky stuff come in. When you watch them play in these playoffs, and in 2 series, you say, damn, Jalen, what happened? My Chicago people. Lil Durk asked what happened to Virgil. We need to be asking what happened to Jalen. For real. Because he went in the regular season averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds on 65% shooting from the field. In the playoffs, it dropped. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 50% shooting from the field. Here's the silver lining, though, when it comes down to Jalen Duren. He's only 22 years old. So should the Chicago Bulls look at that stuff and say, you know what, maybe we can continue to help him develop, because he absolutely has to add more to his game. And I think at 22 years old, he's not even in his prime yet. And if we look at the facts is this playoffs was bad. You know what I'm saying? 10 points, 7 rebounds. In the previous series versus the Magic, 10 points, 9 rebounds. The fact of the matter is that in 2024, though, he only averaged 11 points and 10 rebounds versus the Knicks. So it's like, man, he the same old guy. But let's all remember, he's only 22 years old. Now, if you ask me what I would do, I'm going to make an offer. And the reason I'm making an offer, y'all let me know if this sounds crazy or not, because I'm about to get a little crazy. So I expect it. I want to play chess, not checkers. And what I mean by that is I want to force the Detroit Pistons' hand to pay him money. Now, I'm not going to go out there and be a buffoon and try to offer him $40 million. But I'm going to force the Detroit Pistons' hands to paying him above $30 million. I think in between 25 and 30 million, I think that's a feasible fair. I think that's feasible because you're going to be paying the guy based on what they can do for you for the duration of the contract. But I want to force the Detroit Pistons to spend buku money. And the reason is because I want to make it difficult to where if something gets screwed up over there, I have an opportunity to swoop in and take advantage of other opportunities that can present itself. Player availability, asset, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I don't anticipate the Chicago Bulls doing it because, to be honest, I think Walker Kessler could be a more attainable guy that you can bring to the Chicago Bulls per se. But I try to force the Pistons' hand. I try to force them. That's just the rivalry in me, the competitor in me. I just want to force their hand so y'all can go overpay potentially. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a window to where they don't have to allow it to even allow another team to get antsy or stuff like that. But I try to force their hand. I will absolutely try to force their hand. But right now where we're at, if we're being realistic, I don't think the Bulls should be coughing up $40 million for a player right now. That's just not what I see. I think Walker Kessler is a more obtainable guy. I will absolutely go after that. Try to offer him 20 to 25 million alongside that, and then try to continue to build up that way based on what happens in the draft. So I think it'll be something that's really, really interesting for sure. And it's definitely going to be something that we'll have to continue to monitor, man. It's going to be a lot of fun this offseason talking about these Bulls because we got a lot of exciting things to discuss, man. Finally. Y'all want to know what the greatest thing that my man Bryce can do? It ain't going to happen, though. Find somebody to take P. Willie. But it's not going to happen, though. I ain't even going to get myself excited for that. Because I'm not giving up a first-round pick so they can take him. You know, we just going to have to deal with him, let him sit on the sideline, go give us that 9-4 that he good for, and just rock out. We'll be all right. We'll be all right, guys. It is what it is. But, hey, man, that is it for me today, y'all. Let me know what you will do when it comes to Jalen Duren. Let us know who's your favorite coaching candidate on the rumored list from Jake L. Fisher. And, man, we're going to keep this thing rolling. We definitely got more prospects that we're going to be breaking down over here. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. Help us get closer to that 10K subscriber mark. Hit that subscribe button. No freeloading, man. No freeloading. Just go ahead. If you like the content, go ahead and hit 2 steps. Like, subscribe. It's right there. Boo boo. It's that quick. Boo boo. If you ain't that quick, yeah, we just going to end it right there, man. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, and y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
Cognac. Gang.